Setting boundaries is like building a fence around one's property. And the essence of setting boundaries is to help us define what we are responsible for and the things that we are not responsible for. You see, setting boundaries helps you to take ownership of the outcomes of your life. Nothing is left to chance. When you set boundaries, you simply take ownership of the things that you permit into your life. Another word that best describes boundary is the word control. And you see, ladies, you need to know this up front. You cannot control everything, but you can definitely control some things. For instance, you cannot control how men will generally behave in the world. But you see, you can definitely control how you will be treated by men in the world. So, boundary is about control. Controlling what you can control. Controlling what happens within your own property, within your own life. And that is important. Sometimes you hear ladies saying things like, I don't even know what has happened to men of this generation. Can I tell you the truth? Your responsibility is not to the men of this generation. But you see, you have the responsibility to control how the men that you would permit into your life will treat you or will address you. And this subject today is about you ensuring that you take charge and you take control of what you permit into your life and what you allow to exit your life. Boundaries are very powerful. You see, boundaries define a relationship and it also creates respect for the parties involved. You see, when boundaries is properly established and respected, it will be a win-win situation. It will be a win-win scenario for the parties involved. Boundaries is about taking personal responsibility for one's life. So as a lady, when you set up boundaries around your life, you are simply taking responsibility for your own life. You see, a relationship cannot be healthy until boundaries are established and respected. The function of boundary is to keep good people around and to shut the bad ones out. For some ladies, they actually think setting boundaries will make them to lose their prospective man. But can I tell you the truth? It is always the other way around. You see, good men will respect women who know their worth. Good men are mostly attracted to ladies who know their worth, who knows who they are, and carry themselves with some elegance. You see, when you know who you are, you define what you permit in your life, and you define what you will not permit, and that is what raises your worth in the sight of good men. And I know you are a good woman, so you don't want to attract anything less than who you are. So if you are shooting for the best, then you must be ready to put up boundaries around your life so that you will not allow anyhow person to encroach into your life. Now, setting boundaries says a lot about you as a woman. It says that you are a woman of worth. It says that you are a woman of value, a woman who has confidence, a woman who knows that she is an asset of inestimable value. And you see, when you understand that if anyone you permit into your life is coming to enjoy blessing, then you are not in a haste. You are not too bothered about who lives. Can I tell you the fact? The Bible says they will leave because they are not of us. If they actually belong to you, they wouldn't have left in the first place. So it is not arrogance for you to set up boundaries around your life. it is actually because you are a woman of worth. In this video, I'll be sharing 4 boundaries you need to set with men approaching you for dating relationship. Very important. Number 1, limit your conversation with him when your heart keeps telling you something doesn't feel right. I'm going to say that again. Limit your conversation with him when your heart keeps telling you something doesn't feel right. And this is very important for ladies who still need time to think before saying yes to dating a guy. In my last video, I spoke from Numbers chapter 36 verse 6 in the Bible. Let the daughters of Zelophehad marry whom they think best. So you must not allow any pressure to suspend your rationality, your ability to think. So if you still need time to think before saying yes, then limit your conversation if the pressure is too much. Limit your conversation so that you can have enough rest of mind to think your way through whether this relationship is what you want to really go into. Now, the fact is, some men can be quite pushy. Some men can be quite hasty, and they can be all over you with calls, with cares, with gifts. And don't get me wrong, nothing is wrong with giving or caring or calling. However, when your heart tells you that something doesn't feel right, then you need to take some time to think. You see, we as believers are people of the Spirit. We trust intuition. The Bible says, as many as are led by the Spirit of God, these are the daughters and sons of God. You see, when your heart tells you something is not right, then you need to wait. You see, sometimes being pushy and being hasty is a proof of insecurity. It's a proof that the guy may have some hidden agendas. You see, in Isaiah 28 verse 16, the Bible says, they that believe it shall not make haste. If you truly believe that this girl is yours and you have the quality that it takes to attract this beautiful girl, then you will not be too hasty. You will not be too pushy to make her make decisions without being rational. It's important. I hope you get that point. Number 2, and this is for dating couples. You see, you must set boundaries on how he hang around his male friends. And for us as Christians, the standard for our relationship is very clear. In 2 Corinthians chapter 6 from 14 down, the Bible says we are not to be unequally yoked together with unbelievers. It said, for what concord, what agreement does righteousness has with lawlessness? With, what agreement does light has with darkness? And on like that. So it's important. Now, an unbeliever is not just someone who does not come to your church. You see, an unbeliever is anyone who likes to intentionally break the laws of God. Even though they attend your church, even though they attend church, if anyone likes to intentionally break the law of God, commit immorality, then that person is an unbeliever. You are to regard to them as unbelievers. Now listen, for instance, your man cannot be someone who likes to hang around friends who go to nightclubs where there are strippers, heavy smoking and drinking of alcohol. You see, as a lady, you must be courageous enough to talk about it. Tell him, sit down, let's talk about this. And if he is not ready to disconnect from such friends, you must be ready to wave that relationship bye-bye. Now, the truth is this: sometimes you cannot avoid short-term pain. if you are going to experience permanent and long-term enjoyment in your marital journey. Number 3. Now, this is also for dating couples. Set boundaries around how he hang out with his female friends and exes. Very important. You see, mostly guys are moved by what they see. Therefore, you have to ensure that he is not hanging around too often with females or opposite sex. That can be dangerous. Now, if a guy claims that he loves you, then your company should be the only thing that fascinates him. He should be more excited hanging around you than just hanging around other female or his ex-girlfriends. You see, you cannot be ignorant. The Bible says we are not ignorant of the devil's devices. Before you wake up, you would have discovered that your female friend has just taken away your man. Number 4, beware of any guy who is casually commenting about your sexuality without making any attempt to ask you out on a date. It is very important. Stay away from such guy. Avoid him. Avoid any wrong signals and assumptions that can sabotage your effort to attract other men. You see, sometimes you see guys hanging around girls and they are not making their intention known, but they will only be saying nice words. You look beautiful today. You are smart, but they are not making any further attempt. Sometimes they hang around, they walk with you, they hold your hands. You see, you must learn to avoid them completely. Do not allow any form of public display of affection with any man that is not asking you out on a date or that you do not even love. You see, you must tell him to stop it. Stay away from that. Build barrier, build boundaries around your life. You see, sometimes guys do things, they send wrong signals without really having any intention to live or to spend their time or their life with you. So you must set boundaries. Let everything be defined. You see, boundaries is what defines what you permit into your life and what you do not permit. So you can be smart. Be smart. As a lady, be smart. Do not hang around any man who is not going to mean whatever he is saying. Now, the truth is this. Setting boundaries can be very hard. But you have to do the hard thing first. Do the hard things first. Be courageous enough to set the boundaries around your life. Then good things will begin to follow you. If your goal is to have a blissful marriage, if your goal is to have a glorious, wonderful marital journey, then you must be ready to open your eyes, set up boundaries around your life. Do not permit anything that will bring in pain. Only open your door to people who will bring comfort, pleasure,